And hello everyone. This is a model railroad update. This is my revised scenic ridge layout, which you've seen many times before. It's been moved to a different location. I no longer have the staging tracks available without moving a lot of other things around in this computer room. So for now, this sits here. And instead, we will show you my 4-foot by 8-foot island layout. And we'll just follow this train around as the steam engine chugs its way at prototype speed. And it starts up a grade here. Now, since the last time you saw this, I have actually forested the hills. You'll see trees everywhere, and we look down from the mountain and watch the train go in the tunnel. And here you got a look at the forested simulation of the Appalachian Mountains on my layout as the train emerges from the tunnel. And goes through a cut. And will wind its way around the tall mountain. And now we're going to move over. This is my yard, which passes for staging tracks. More about that later. And this is my operator's viewpoint, sitting down here on the couch. And there at the upper left, you can see the coal mine complex, which is reached by a branch line on a 4% grade. We have 2 passenger trains and another freight train here in the yard. And I like to run 2 trains at once and run them around each other on the 3 passing tracks. One of the passing tracks is right here in front. Another is at the top of the grade around the mountain, and the third is over on the opposite side of the layout. And let's watch the steam engine come by. And I like this 4x8 versus the 3x6 Scenic Ridge Revised. It allows me to run longer trains in a more realistic environment. Over in this corner, well, there it goes. We stall. Does that sometimes coming off the switches? I don't really understand why. Anyway, this is where I control the trains from. And here in this corner is where I plan to put a small rural village. I haven't really finished that up yet, but aside from some detailing, I consider most of the rest of the layout finished. As we survey the big mountain and the ridge. And there's the coal mine up in the other corner. Now, one of the things I particularly like from this vantage point is watching the train come out of the tunnel. And you can hear it chugging along. You should see the light coming out of the tunnel momentarily. There it is. The last time you saw my living room layout, it was over here against the big glass mirror. It was 3 feet by 8 feet, and I was trying to run modern trains. But what I discovered was 3 feet by 8 feet is not enough room for today's modern longer trains. So we've gone from the original 3 by 8 section in the back here, and we've added to it. And the curves are a little bit sharp for the turn back. I wish they weren't, but anything else makes moving around the layout difficult. So this is 30 inches. And by the way, the whole thing is set on folding tables. And probably not the best, but certainly the easiest way to do it. And it does make wiring a bit difficult. I haven't quite decided just how I'm going to handle all the switch wiring. Right now, none of the switches are wired up. And I finally have real staging yards. Double-ended staging yards back here and around the corner to there. So I'm very pleased with that. I have 6 trains that I can run on this layout, 4 staging tracks, and you can see 2 Amtrak trains and a stack train in the staging tracks. One of the staging track trains is running, so let's watch it go by. Today's modern trains with what they call PSR, Precision Scheduled Railroading, can be very, very long. They also have, quite often, what are called distributed power units. By the way, that's the auto train passing in front of our freight train. Again, auto train is said to be the longest passenger train in the world, but it's, even my model here is not as long as this CSX freight. We'll watch it go by here. You might wonder, what are those orange things? Well, they're not Tropicana cars, those are trash containers. And here comes our distributed power unit. If you're going to run modern trains, you got to have long trains, and long trains means got to have more layout. So that's what this is all about. As you can see, it's in the very early stages. So what is my concept for this layout? Well, I will tell you. It's the very north end of the RF&P, the old Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac. And right there, those 3 tracks in the back there, that's going to be the auto train terminal. Speaking of which, the RF&P is a favorite of mine. I've ridden it quite a few times on Amtrak, and even a few times on the auto train. What I'd really like to do is to model a bit of the Potomac River back over here. The tracks run right alongside, very scenically along the river for about 30 miles between Washington, D.C. and Fredericksburg. This little station here will, I expect, one day be part of a small town called Quantico, which is right along the river. And here comes our super long freight passing the auto train once again. Oh, look at all these hoppers. Well, I said I have 4 staging tracks, 4 trains, but 6 trains in all. This particular section stages a coal train because I've often seen coal hoppers around the Possum Point power plant, which is in between Washington and Quantico. It may eventually go in that end of the layout to try to hide the sharp curves a bit. And I have some nice little operation to do to put together the coal train. And the same is true for the auto train as we pass the auto train terminal. And the auto train is so long that you can't fit it on one track, but that's realistic because at the real auto train terminal, they put the train together before departing. So that provides a little bit of operation for my otherwise round layout. Put together the auto train, put together the coal train, or run one of the Amtracks or the stack train out of my staging tracks. Oh, one last thing. I got the power wired up. Switches are not wired. And I haven't quite decided exactly how I'm going to organize my wiring and keep it hidden. But we will figure all of that out one of these days. In the meantime, get my finger out of the way, and here comes my long freight. Well, I need to get the wires out of the way too. And my long freight comes complete with the prototypical trash containers on their way to a southern landfill somewhere, and the distributed power, and one more look at the auto train as it goes by. So what do you think? 3 layouts too much? Well, just that every time I got a layout pretty much up to completion, I got an idea for something else. Sometimes I think I enjoy building layouts more than running trains. But anyway, those are my 3 layouts for now. Trains running on a couple. And I hope you enjoyed the video. It's got kind of long, but when you have 3 layouts to show off, that's not surprising. Everyone have a good day. And we'll be back in touch with you in probably a couple of months when I've figured out a little bit more of what to do with the scenery. Bye-bye.